So this is Judge James, and I'm here for a quick video from the Walls Dungeon Tavern. As you can all see, this is where we're at, and I thought I would share the Dwarven Forge Caverns Deep build that we did for this week's Fantasy Age game with Cooper and my wife Jen, as well as for hopefully one, potentially two Frostgrave matches. And kind of happy with this build. This was a pretty quick one. I did this a couple weeks ago, and fortunately, because this is our tavern room in our basement, we are able to use this and just set things up, leave it set up, and look, gaze, peruse, and not have to worry about taking things apart. So I thought I'd take a little tour through and show you what's coming this week. Today we're hoping to play Fantasy Age with Cooper, and his character is already set up. We've got on this little boat that has sailed into this cavern. We have Ember and Dave. Ember and Dave are Cooper's Hero Forge, Beast Folk, Rogue, and Battle Penguin. If you can see that. So they're on the boat here, and on the back we have Vio Vapor Dance, which is an old D&D gnome miniature back from 3rd edition D&D. So that's my wife Jen's gnome mage. And the quest for this adventure that they have, at least, is that this is kind of an interesting setup. I have two campaigns for Fantasy Age, and they take place at the same exact time in the same exact world. It's a world I created, I co-created with our other players. It is a very JRPG-inspired setting. It has crystals and weird gods and elements and all the stuff you'd see in a Final Fantasy game, with a lot of Legend of Zelda and Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana and Dragon Quest all thrown in there. And in this adventure, in the last game, which we ran yesterday, my teen players, their airship, because now they're air or sky pirates, their airship got tethered by an arcane magical harpoon that came from the swamp below. In the caverns below the swamp, there is this special arcane tether that was and harpoon gun, and it's actually down here in the cavern, actually over there on the far end. We'll get to that in a second. But I thought I'd walk you all through how we built this and how we have it set up and how we would use it for two games. So first off, you've got this cool little entranceway where Cooper's character is infiltrating. While not Dwarven Forge, this topper here is a Reaper Bones like fertility goddess symbol or totem, and that just kind of looked cool, so we thought we'd put some offerings on there. I will be stocking this this dungeon with baddies here shortly, leeches and toads and spiders and that kind of stuff. But entering in, the characters will have to go through this doorway, and then they'll loop their whole way around until they get to this entrance here. And I built this in a way that this is a 2 by 2 foot central build, and I have on one side the end point for the adventure that Cooper and Jen will be in, and the other side, this is the entrance in, and these come off. These parts on the sides will come off. It'll just be 2 by 2 feet for Frostgrave, with a lot less of the history and backstory around it. But it just shows how cool and modular the terrain can be. So the characters will have to come through this doorway, and they will enter in. And I used, I built a underground stream, a murky, swampy stream that'll go the whole way around. And there's some floating bits, and it comes and it sort of ends here with the idea that maybe it's ending below, somewhere underneath this spire type section. But the cool use of the negative terrain which is a Dwarven Forge thing, is pretty rad. I like how that turned out. I think Cooper's showing up here. Cooper, you gonna be on camera?
On Minecraft.
Well, you will in a second. Say hi.
Hello.
We're doing the I'm YouTubing this, so yeah, nice. So you've got the this comes over to the edge here, and you have some cool mushroom areas. This is gonna be. I'll probably set some treasure tokens over here for Frostgrave. I think that's gonna be a great place to have a battle and some fighting. As for what we're gonna do in Fantasy Age, it'll probably be some kind of encounter in the edge there, so we'll have more room to play with. Same thing on this side. As you come in, there are some nooks and crannies over here to explore. A hallway that takes you into this main central glowing room, as well as back here we have a nest of something, which I have not decided what that will be yet, but maybe a secret exit out of the cavern possibly. And everything kind of happens. Hopefully there'll be some kind of cool epic scene that takes place requiring this big central piece. You know, it is challenging sometimes to fit lots of miniatures on here. Like, they can climb, and you can show them climbing up. This is like a stairwell, so they can move their way up here, and they do fit pretty nicely. Larger miniatures would be a challenge, but I have a way to put encounters around that there if I want to. I'm going to loop around here for a second here. Here's the view from behind the GM screen. So on the other side, you can see just kind of saying, oh, I forgot to light up a wall. Look at that. I left out a piece of glowing terrain. There we go. To build this piece here, I was able just to use, it's a smaller, one of those metal plates that has the fabric on it. It's magnetic, and it's on some stands. So there's 5 of these below lifting this up, and that's how we get this elevation in the center. I was originally going to have each piece elevated a bit more, and I might do that in a future build, but I didn't have the stuff for that. At least I didn't want to get all that stuff out. We have the big. This is the Alex, I think. Not Alex. Is it Alex? No, I'm trying to think what the name of this. It's not Billy. Of this IKEA piece. What this is. I can't remember.
Bob.
But we keep. What did you call it?
Bob.
Yeah, Bob. We keep all of the Dwarven Forge in here. But anyway, there's definitely a lot of places to go and places to have cool encounters. And then as they come to the end, they will find this glowing door, which obviously, since all of the battles and stuff will happen around this central pillar, all the fights, all of the sneaks possibly. Cooper's character, Ember, tends to be mostly stealth-based, and, you know, obviously I have to reward him for being super stealthy.
I survived the whole adventure without killing anything or getting to a single fight.
Right, and that was an idea. That was a plan, correct?
No, I just didn't decide to fight anything.
Yeah, actually, if you I can zoom in here. Here is the character art of Ember and Dave, done by Christian Thor Lally. Did this commission for us. So now Ember and Dave is the tribute to the room's Fantasy Age gaming. But in the final scene, the characters will have to, at least for the Fantasy Age game, will go through this doorway, and there is this fish totem head here is sort of what's creating the tether. It's coming out of the mouth, and they'll have to figure out at that point how to disengage the tether, free the airship, and let my other group of team players get loose and go back to their main adventure. So that's the build. I thought I'd share it. Kind of gives me a reason to, you know, set this down and I guess and memorialize the build, because Crom knows that once we are done with a few matches of Frostgrave and the adventure or two we'll run here, we'll be taking all of this down, and that'll be that for this Caverns Deep build, and I'll probably won't build anything else just like it. At least not for some time. I've been trying to mix up and change up each build. I do want to note this is entirely built with Caverns Deep pieces. There is one old Caverns piece here that I had gotten. I was gifted this at the Dwarven Forge booth when I had told at Gen Con 20...
I think it was 2018.
18, yeah, you're right. They had given me this because I told them I was a backer for Caverns Deep, and they just gave me this. So I wanted to memorialize
You
that.
met the guy.
I met some of the folks that designed this stuff.
You met the guy that like invented Dwarven Forge. Right?
I did not know. Evie had a chance to meet Stefan Picorni, not me.
You saw him though.
I did see him. Perhaps one day in the future. But if Stefan does happen to see this video, your stuff is rad. All the Dwarven Forge team, this is just rad terrain, and I'm like so happy that we have it. It's like a big geek dream of mine to own a bunch of this stuff, and saved up, and we have enough to create some cool builds. I do want to say that for anyone out there who is getting into Dwarven Forge or modeling or any kind of terrain, I know Theater of the Mind is fantastic, and I do enjoy playing Theater of the Mind style games. Most of my gaming online is Theater of the Mind with just some basic maps, but this definitely changes things up to have this kind of terrain available. And in addition to that, it's been nice being Frostgrave players. Having the access to this kind of terrain is also a plus. And there's really no need to have this much. We do, because I went crazy on the Caverns Deep Kickstarter. But, just getting some pieces and some negative terrain would really change up your game scene. So this is our setup, and I will be posting on Twitter probably some more pictures of how the games play out. And that's that. So we will see you all later tonight on Living for Crits. Say bye, Cooper.
Bye.
And happy gaming.